Commenting on the September meeting with the U.S. presidential candidate Donald Trump and Ukraine's accession to NATO, Volodymyr Zelensky said that the Budapest Memorandum, which was signed by the leaders of the nuclear-armed states, did not become a defense for Ukraine against Russian aggression.
Which of these big countries, all the nuclear nations, were affected? All of them? No, only Ukraine. Who gave up nuclear weapons? All of them? No, only Ukraine. Who is at war today? Ukraine. In a conversation with Donald Trump, I said to him, what's the solution? Either Ukraine will have nuclear weapons, and then that's defense for us. Or we have to have some kind of alliance. Apart from NATO, we don't know any effective alliances today. NATO countries are not at war now. That's why Ukraine chooses NATO over having nuclear weapons. I believe that Donald Trump heard me. He agreed that my arguments were fair.
Immediately after Zelensky's statement, German tabloid Bild, citing an anonymous source, wrote that Ukraine is capable of restoring its nuclear arsenal in a few weeks. The Ukrainian foreign ministry immediately denied the rumor that Kyiv was allegedly planning to develop weapons of mass destruction. It is Moscow that is engaged in nuclear blackmail. Russia promised to respect Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity and then attacked it.
Ukraine has been and remains a committed party to the Treaty on the Non-Proliferation of Nuclear Weapons, which it joined in 1994, giving up the world's third most powerful military nuclear capability then. Despite continued Russian aggression, Ukraine remains committed to the provisions of the treaty and remains a responsible participant in the international nuclear non-proliferation regime. Unlike Russia, Ukraine fulfills its commitments and counts on their responsible international actors to do the same. Georgy Tichy, spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine, on the official website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine.
On the same day in Brussels, at the press conference with the Secretary General of North Atlantic Alliance, Mark Rutte, the Ukrainian president stressed that Kyiv had no intent of restoring its nuclear arsenal. The only true step towards lasting peace for Ukraine is to join NATO.
Ukraine truly deserves to become this, or they thought, NATO member one day. And we must do everything to ensure this happens. That is why the first fundamental point in the victory plan is the invitation to NATO. Ukrainians have shown that we can defend shared values, and we are standing against Russia, the biggest threat to Europe and global peace.
Ukraine's victory plan consists of 5 points and 3 secret add-ons, only accessible to Kyiv's allies. Ukraine's invitation to NATO is the first point of the strategic document.
Now we are only talking about inviting Ukraine to NATO. This is not accession, but an invitation. Even before the NATO summit in Vilnius, it was suggested that Ukraine should first accept the invitation, but with a postponed date. And the accession itself would be after the end of the war. It was a compromise, because many NATO countries, of course, are afraid of war with Russia and nuclear war in particular.
The alliance headquarters believes Ukraine is closer to NATO membership than ever before. Alliance Secretary General Mark Rutte has said that Ukraine is likely to become NATO's next member.
At the moment, it seems that it will be Ukraine as number 33, but maybe somebody else pops in front of him. But Ukraine will be a member of NATO in the future. That is what we decided in Washington.
On October 17th in Brussels, the Ukrainian president took part in 2 important meetings at once: the European summit at the level of EU heads of state and governments, and the meeting of defense ministers of the North Atlantic Alliance member states. Volodymyr Zelensky presented Ukraine's victory plan to the partners and discussed with them support for Kyiv and Ukraine's future in NATO. Reported by Anastasia Tarnavska, Yulia Granovska, UATV News.